So how do you explain, though, the development of this sort of institution or this systemic bias toward increases of child support? How do you account for its origin?
Well, we have eliminated that bond, that guarantee of the parent-child bond. The parent-child bond is supposed to be sacred. We have allowed the government to come in and seize control of people's children without giving any reason. Not only can children be taken away from the parents who have done nothing wrong, but the government is actively involved in taking away their children. There are several factors involved here. There's vested interest. There's the feminist organizations, which created this ideologically. There's the legal practices, the bar associations, and the judges groups. And there's the welfare state was also a part of this. A lot of these problems started under welfare with low-income families, and they have since spread to middle-income families through divorce. So it's a whole variety of radical political ideologies.
And all with slightly different agendas. For example, the feminist agenda, which emerged in the 60s, is a little different from that of the welfare state, which is a little different from the economic interest of the bar and legal groups in the litigation process of divorce. So yeah, they all of those sort of converge to create this sort of perfect storm.
Well, that's right, but they do have certain common factors. They're all interested in increasing the size of the state and in seizing control of children from innocent people, innocent parents.
Dads in particular.
Dads in particular. Well, dads are the ones with the pockets. Dads are the ones that can be plundered. Dads are the ones with the income, with the savings that can simply be confiscated, and that's what's happening.
So, why don't you talk a little bit about the calculation of child support? You've made reference to the fact that it's something for which you can be thrown into prison and will be if you fail to pay it. But interestingly enough, it's not necessarily based on what the father in fact earned historically. Can you comment on that?
No, that's right. Judges can order virtually any amount in child support. There's no limit. The economics of it are much less important than the politics. The father can simply be ordered to pay anything. The judge can simply come up with any excuse whatsoever to increase child support. They can order you to pay special additional child support for things that are already included in the child support calculation. For example, health insurance is included in the basic costs of raising children in most states, and yet they order add-ons for health insurance. Fathers are forced to pay add-ons for horseback riding or music lessons when they're already calculated in the cost of raising a child. They can impute income. They can force you to pay child support based on what a judge thinks you should be earning, not what you do earn, what the judge thinks you should be earning, what he thinks you're capable of earning. So a judge who has no economic training at all can just decide that a father should be making twice as much as he does, order child support based on a salary that's twice as much as the father actually earns, and jail the father without trial when the father can't earn that much money. It's the only place in America where you can be jailed for being poor.
And let me flesh that out a little bit for those who are listening and are squinting to fathom this process you've described. The way that child support is calculated is that courts have a very cynical, suspicious perspective regarding dad's incomes. And to the extent that dad has had a reduction in his income, if there's any suspicion by the court that that is voluntary in any way, which often amounts to can dad provide very clear and convincing proof that his reduction was entirely involuntary. Failing that, then the court can say, look, you earned last year and the year before $200,000 a year, so it doesn't matter that you're earning $40,000 this year or even that you're unemployed. We're going to impute $200,000 to you for this year and future years, and we're going to use that to calculate your child support obligation. And so some guys get caught in this vortex where there's just no escape. And these are the guys who I think in larger numbers who sort of disappear underground. And ultimately everybody loses. The guy loses because he's in this hole that he can't dig himself out of or can't get out of. And meanwhile you have the children who don't see their dad now because dad's dropped out for lack of any alternative as he perceived it. It's just a very horrendous situation that spirals downward. But it's very common to impute child support that is significantly above what dads are in fact earning at the time of the divorce.
Yes, that's right. And it doesn't even matter. He doesn't even have to have earned it in the past. The judge can simply decree, by his own decree, that the father could be earning more money, regardless of how much he may have never earned that much money in the past. The judge can order any amount at all in child support. We have cases of judges ordering over child support that exceeds the father's income. We have many cases. It's very, very common for fathers to be left with a few $100s a month to live on.
And what makes this worse is to the extent that a dad may want to take this to a court of appeals, to the extent that there might be cases to support dad's position, I can tell you as a divorce lawyer that often dads have used up much of their money in the trial process at the divorce level. They've been ordered to pay child support, a meter's running, they have garnishment wage assignments, these mechanisms that are taking their money wherever they put it, whatever account they deposit it in. So they don't have the means to pay for the justice that some systems might in fact offer. I mean, there are some opportunities in some states to get these sort of injustices corrected in a court of appeals, but many dads just can't get there.
That's correct. Yes, it's prohibitively expensive.
So I guess that your views have not been very popular in a lot of quarters in academia as well as government and other places.
Well, that's right. Yes, I've been more or less ostracized in the academic world.
Really?
Yes.
Is there that much of a bias against speaking out on behalf of fathers?
It's more than a bias; it's a fear. Everyone in the academic world knows that speaking out against, opposing anything that the feminists favor, is a ticket out the door. You cannot survive in the academic world if you criticize feminism.
But you're so well published, and your credentials are impeccable. I'm just surprised that more doors haven't been opened. But I guess given what your message is, that's a pretty politically incorrect thing to say.
Yes, it is. It has taken a lot of struggle to get these items published, and I have not. I have had articles turned down by political science journals, for example, explicitly telling me that they are ideologically incorrect.
Well, and I do look at all the publications where you have been published, and I'm glad to see Washington Post, Washington Times, the American Conservative. I guess I would predict that. But you've had some opportunity to get your perspective out there. I see American Enterprise Institute, National Review, some wonderful periodicals. So let's try to, as we sort of wrap up here, I'd like to close with some positive observations. What do you see on the horizon that might give some hope to dads regarding this process?
Well, I've tried to publicize this with my book, and I hope my book will bring this to a wider audience. I have had a lot of media